Well, here we are standing in front of Harbor Freight. We're going to go in and see if we can't find that really elusive, hard to find Gordon survival kit. Well, they had one. The Harbor Freight survival kit by Gordon. So I found it. It's in the area, the same place in the store where they have like the machete and the survival knives and that kind of stuff. It hangs on a peg. See, so it'll look like this when you look at it, but it's actually a pretty thick item. So let's talk about this. You're going to see it's got, on the front, it's got a survival knife or a pocket knife, a folding knife, a spork, a small flashlight. Then it's got this case that's in this big plastic area back here. It's a black plastic case, and it's got more stuff in it. It's got 12 items in it. In addition to 3 things on the front, it's got a tactical pen, a water bottle clip, a survival bracelet, a pocket bellow, a fire starter, a wire saw, fishing tools, an emergency blanket, and a saber card. It's one of those little multi-tool all-in-one cards. And if you count the box, that's really 13 things, I guess. So it does come with quite a few things in it. The question is this going to be sufficient for a standalone, by itself survival kit, or do we need to add things to it? I have this feeling that by the time I get done with this, I'm going to kit bash it a little bit and add a few things to it to really flesh it out and make it a better survival kit that you would store maybe on a boat or in a trailer or in your truck, just to have some stuff there that you need in an emergency if you're not particularly carrying a get-home bag. So we're going to take a look at this. We'll rip it apart and see what's in there and see if it's really up to snuff and really what you're going to need for a survival kit. Okay, so here we go. We're going to take a look at this thing, and I'm going to use my little Gerber Freeman knife to open this thing. It's kind of ironic, right? We've got to have a knife so that we can open a package that has a knife in it. Okay, anyway, so let's take a look at this thing and try and get it open and not damage anything while we're doing it. So I'm just going to try to cut this open here a little bit and take out some of these items. So the first item here, actually I'm going to have to cut it a little more, I guess. I've got to be careful here. I don't want to cut me. My wife wouldn't be too happy if I did that. So here's the knife, and we'll take it out. I keep hitting the camera. So we'll take a look at it in a moment. Let's get these other items out of here. So let's see what we got. We'll rip this off. And we've got, I get this stuff out of here. I'm 65 years old. This shouldn't be this difficult. There's the spork. And let's get this old flashlight out of here. See if we can get it out here fairly easy. Here it comes. And now we'll take the rest of this out of here. Nobody's going to be taking this home, opening it up, repackaging it, and reselling it on eBay, I don't think. The package is pretty well destroyed, I think, by the time we get into it. And there you go. So everything's out. We'll see what's in this. Let's open this up. Just see what it looks like. And it opens up from the front, I guess. Got clips on the side and 2 clips on the front. It's got all that stuff in there. So we're going to take a look at everything. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is the knife. It is a fairly lightweight knife. It feels fairly sharp. It's not, I don't think it's going to be the sharpest knife I've ever opened. Probably could use a little honing. But it's a reasonably nice little, pocket knife, drop point pocket knife. It's got a liner lock on it. So that comes out. It does have an assist. So you can open that up pretty easily, I think. So we'll close that again. And, well, the liner lock is really strong on this thing. It bends almost too far. Let's try it again. So that opens up. And then just close it down. So it's got a pocket clip on here. It doesn't ride, you can see it doesn't ride real low. So, so it's going to go to about here on your pocket. So you're going to have a good close to 3/4 of an inch sticking above your pocket there when you put it in the pocket. It's got a glass, a seatbelt cutter here. In there you can see the blade, I think. It's got a seat cut, but it's got a glass breaker. Don't know how good that glass breaker is. I think I'm going to go over to the local junkyard one day and see if they'll let me try the glass breaker on some windows. I've got a lot of these knives that have these glass breakers on the end of them, and I don't know if they really work or not. We'd have to go take a look at it. So there's your knife that goes in there. This is a little flashlight that it comes with. It doesn't come on immediately because if you open it up, which you'll find out, and then it's the plunger end is the end it opens. You open this up, and let's see, and it does have a flashlight, but it's also got that little insulator on this. You got to take the little insulator out, and we'll screw that back in there. I don't suspect this light is too bright. It doesn't tell me. Let's see if it tells me. It doesn't tell me anything about the lumens or anything about how bright it is, but it's not bad. Probably 100 lumens maybe. Maybe 80, 85 lumens, something like that. It's not a real bright light, but it would get the job done. It's got a couple of features. It's got that flashing feature, a strobe. I don't know why you'd want a strobe, but it's got it. Maybe to get somebody's attention. It's a brighter light. That's a not so bright light, and you have the flasher. So that works pretty well. Does its job. It's real small, very lightweight. It's very, very, very lightweight. Got a pocket clip on it as well. So that's a nice, handy thing to have. Let's take a look at this spork. This spork, it's the way it works, and it's not obvious, but you take this spork and you got to pull this out of here. So when you pull it out, you've got a little knife blade. I guess you could use that to cut food with. It feels about as sharp as that. Honestly, it feels pretty sharp. Little bottle opener, can opener there. You could use. It's got a little serrated edge. I'm not so sure what you would use that for. You certainly couldn't saw with it. Maybe to scrape scales off a fish, perhaps. It's got a little wrench notch here, so if you need to wrench something, you could. Another kind of hexagonal hole there that you could use, and the actual spork spoon itself. So it comes with a whistle. So it's got a whistle built into it. So let's see if it goes this way. It goes this way or the other way. It must go this way. Well, doesn't seem to want to whistle very well. I can't make it whistle, so I don't know what's going on there. It doesn't seem to want to whistle for me at all. So I'm not too. I don't think I'd hate to depend on that whistle to survive for me. So that whistle is a bust. Whistle did not work. Comes with some little instructions in here about your flashlight. Doesn't tell you anything much about it. So it's got a little survival blanket. Everybody needs one of those in a survival kit. That's a keeper. If you like survival bracelets, it's got one. It's got paracord in it, and we all say that you need paracord, so there's your paracord. It's got a little compass built into it, which is kind of nice. Another whistle built into this right here, so you blow it. So that one works. So this whistle works. The whistle on this thing does not. But it's got a little compass right here. So you see a little compass, and then it's like all these bracelets. It's got a little scraper and a little bitty ferro rod. Those things don't really work very well, and they're hard to manipulate. But I guess if you're in a pinch and that's all you had, maybe you can get a spark out of it. I don't know if the spark is going to be hot enough, but you've got your paracord bracelet. If you want one of those, if that's a thing you need in your bag. The thing I like about that is primarily that it does have the paracord. So you've got the paracord, and it's got a compass. Compasses can be really good. You do have a little pen here. I guess that pen writes. Let's see. Well, I don't know. It doesn't seem to. That's not the writing end. That's a glass breaker, is what it looks like to me. Or some kinds of little. If you wanted to, you could take this and poke somebody with it. It would hurt pretty good. There's your pen end down there, down at this end. That end up there is kind of really sharp. It looks like a point, a glass breaker. You hit somebody in the face with it. Let's see, this thing writes. It does write, so that's good. So you got a pen. So anyway, you got a pen there. Nice metal pen. I don't know if you really need a pen that heavy. I'm not sure a survival pen is really the thing I want to put in the box. I can think of a lot of other things I might put in the box. So let's see what we have next. We have a bellow. So if you made a fire and you want to take that fire and you want it to blow on it, you got a nice long pipe here, and you can sit and you can blow in one end and air comes out the other. I guess that's okay. I've never in my life had a need for a bellow. I just bend down and blow into the fire. You'd have to be careful with one of these things. You have to be really careful with a bellow, because if you've got it in your mouth when you inhale, you could inhale embers into your throat, into your mouth. I don't particularly like these things. Like I said, I have never in my life used one. So this is probably something that would not stay in the bag. I just don't see the point of having that in a survival kit. I'm not planning on spending my life building big fires. I only need to build a small enough fire to get going. So that probably is not my biggest, most favorite item that's in here. Let's see what else I've got in here. I got a little fishing kit. It's got a little lure, a hook, and a little bit of fishing line. Okay, that's going to have to be improved. One hook is not going to get it done. One little lure is not going to get it done. Fish can rip one of those things off just quick as anything. You can get a hook snagged on something. You've got to have extra hooks and a little bit more line than I think is on this. Well, the spool might be big enough for the line, but definitely you need a couple more hooks and you need a couple more little lures. So we will be enhancing this. This is one of those wire saws. I don't know how effective these things are. Some people like them, some don't. They're not very substantial. I have heard that they break. I'm not even going to undo this thing. But you put your fingers, or actually you either hold it like this and move back and forth, or you put a stick in there and grab the stick and do it. I have heard that these things don't hold up very well when you actually try to saw with them. I've heard that what they do is they break very easily. So I don't know how effective that saw is, but it's there and you can try it if you need to in an emergency. You might want to take this out in the woods and actually try it to see if it actually can cut anything. You might be better off just grabbing some limbs off the ground, breaking them and putting them in a fire. I'm not sure, unless I was trying to saw my way out of something, I'm not sure that saw is going to do me a whole lot of good, but you never know. So let's see what else we've got here. We've got one of these bottle clips. You put a bottle, this goes around the neck of a bottle, and I don't know, I've never found these things to be very helpful. I'm not going to carry a bottle on my waist. If I've gonna hike anywhere, I've got a get home bag that has a water pouch in it, so I can slide the water in this outside pouch. I just don't know how useful these things are. This is another thing. So I probably would take the bellows and this thing out of the bag. See what I have next. This is a ferro rod. Now the ferro rod looks pretty decent. This is actually a fairly nice ferro rod, I think. It's got the scraper is inside this little cardboard dealie right here. That's kind of interesting. They had that thing tied up. You can see inside this is your scraper, and then you got a pretty decent sized ferro rod. It's not huge, but it's decent size, and I think that would work pretty good. I've seen this other people take these out and look and use them. I think this is a pretty nice item to get out of this bag. So far the nice items you've got a flashlight. Even if that's just a $2 or $3 flashlight, you're talking a value there. A knife like that's going to cost you about usually about $6 to $10. You've got the little saw that's a few bucks. You've got your spork. Good grief, you buy these things, they can be kind of expensive. You've got your paracord bracelet. There's another couple bucks. This is probably $7 to $10 for a ferro rod like that, so I kind of like the ferro rod. And then you've got this here, and I've never really had much use for these things. This is one of those credit card multi-tool things. I don't know how useful these things are. You're not going to saw anything with that little blade right there. It's got about a 3-inch or 2-inch measuring thing on it. I'm not sure how useful that is. So anyway, it's got a couple other things in it, a bottle opener. It's got the little wrench things here you can do. I'm just not sure how useful something like that is. I think they're kind of gimmicky, these credit card multi-tools. So I don't know about that. That's probably would stay after. Things I would probably not put back in this box is the bellows, the bottle holder, and the credit card multi-tool. Those are gone. I'm going to put those away, and we're not going to even look at those anymore. Now, this box is probably can hold a lot more stuff than you think because it's got this foam in here. So the foam can come out, and if you needed to, you could put more stuff in here than this. The foam takes up some space, but the foam also keeps everything from banging around in there. So you've got your bracelet, your ferro rod, which we can put in there. You're going to have your little fishing kit, which we're going to improve. Your little saw. You've got your knife. Let's see if all this stuff will even fit in this box. Your spork. It's got to go in here somehow. Let's stick this in here. You got your flashlight that's got to go in here. Your pen that's got to go in here. And your para bracelet. Okay. Oh, and your safety blanket. So you put all that stuff in there. Man, that's hardly going to close up. It closed up nice when everything else, but you're not going to get all that stuff in there unless you take this foam out. So I think what I would probably do is take the foam out, try to package this stuff up a little differently so that it fits in this box. So we'll take this stuff here, and let's see. This stuff can go down here. I put my little ferro rod in here, and let's see if it closes now when I take all that stuff, one of those foams out of there. So when I take one piece of the foam out, that fits in there much better. And especially since I'm going to be adding things to this, I think that taking one piece of the foam out is probably the way to go, so that you don't take up too much space, because that takes up a lot of space to put that foam in there. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take a look at the things I'm keeping in this. How would we improve them? And also, what would we add to this that's not currently in there? So next thing is what are we going to do to kit bash this kit? So here is the Gordon kit with the stuff I'm going to keep. Remember, I threw out the little credit card multi-tool. I threw out the fire bellow, which I think is just a dangerous item to have, and I threw out the belt clip for my water bottle, which I don't think I would ever use. So what's left, I put in the box, and I took out. Remember, I took out one of the foam pads. So what did I do to enhance this thing? Well, first thing I did, I took the fishing kit and I decided to enhance the fishing kit. So first thing I did, in addition to the little red jelly, I added an extra little rubber worm in there, plastic worm. I also added a little worm jig that I had from my regular tackle box. That's a real nice light little worm jig you could throw in there. And in the hooks, instead of one hook, I added 2 extra hooks. So now I've got 3 hooks in that bag instead of just one. So if I lose one or drop one, I don't have to worry about it. If I break one, fish takes one, we're good. I did not add any extra line. I think that's probably enough line. My guess is there's probably about 25 feet of line on that thing. I don't think I would need all of that line. I'm not going to be casting with this thing. I'm going to sort of be pole fishing, if at all. So I don't know how much fishing you would do, but if you need a fishing kit, that's what I would put in it, so that you've got a little bit of redundancy in there. So if you lose a hook or lose a little line, you got a little extra. So I would put that in there. The next thing I would do is I added a little first aid boo-boo kit. So my first aid boo-boo kit, I've got 3 Band-Aids. I've got one little pad that you can put over a bigger wound. I also added in so let me show you what I added in here. I added in 3 little packets of stuff. I've got a packet of antiseptic antibiotic gel that I could put on a wound if I need to. I also added a alcohol swab. Those can always be very helpful for a lot of things. This is really helpful, by the way, if you're feeling nauseous. If you take an alcohol swab and put it up under your nose and breathe that in about 5 minutes, your nausea will go away. So if you're in an emergency, you're trying to get home, the last thing you want to do is get sick. That dehydrates you. It creates a lot of other problems. wiping and keeping an alcohol swab underneath your nose and breathing it in will help relieve nausea. I also added in a packet of acetaminophen and also a packet of ibuprofen to help with pain. You're going to have muscle pains. If you fall down, you're going to get sore, and that will help with those pains. If you get a headache, that will help as well. So I added, it's just a very bare bones, minimal first aid kit. Nothing special with it. Nothing that's going to help you really survive any major injuries, but will help you if you have some minor injuries going on. Now, I also added for fire a little fire redundancy. Instead of just the ferro rod, I'm going to add a lighter with some duct tape wrapped around it. This multi-purpose. First of all, it's redundancy on your fire. And even if you run out of fuel in this thing, it will create a spark. Second, the duct tape can be used for several things. Duct tape can be used as a fire starter. It will burn and burn very slowly so that you can start a fire with it. In addition, it's about 3 to 4 feet of duct tape, and I put that on there so that you can always use it to tape up your clothes. If you tear your clothes, you can use it to fasten something. Maybe if the box comes loose, a tab breaks on the box, you can wrap this around there and keep the box closed. So having a lighter with some duct tape on it is really going to be helpful, I think. Now, the box is starting to get kind of full. If we try to close it now, let's see, it'll close. It's kind of hard to close it, but it will close. Now, if I wanted to take this other pad out, I could add a couple more things. And what I would add is some food items. The first thing I'm going to add, I'm going to assume that you've got a bottle of water with you, so I'm going to add a Propel pack. This will give you some extra electrolytes and some refreshing taste in that water, particularly if you, for example, if you have some tablets for purifying water, that's going to make the water taste bad, and this will make that water taste better if you're using that. In addition, I'm going to add 2 other items. One of them is a energy gel pack. You can get these at REI and other places. It's just some gel. It's going to provide you, it provides you 100 calories. It's got some vitamins in there and some electrolytes in this. So this is a really good little thing to keep as an emergency item. It's got amino acids, sodium, and caffeine in it, so that can help you if you're starting to feel low. And let's see if we can fit this Nutrigrain bar in there. Fitting that Nutrigrain bar in there might be really helpful as well. So let's just see what happens if we pack all this stuff in this bag with none of the foam. So if I do that, it will close with all that stuff in it without the foam in it. Okay, so that's pretty good. I can close that down and lock it, and it's going to be fine. Let's see what happens if I try to put that foam in it. And let's just leave out the Nutrigrain bar. Leave everything else in there, but just leave out the Nutrigrain bar. Let's see what that does. So again, I can take this, I can fold this down, and it's going to close. It's not going to close easy. It's going to be tight. And hold on a second, I got some plastic hanging out the side here. That's what you got to watch when you do this kind of thing. So that closes down. Click. Let's see if I click. So now my box is full. I've got one thing of foam. That foam's going to hold everything in there tight. It's not going to move around. This box does have a couple of holes on it, so if you wanted to run a lanyard through there or some paracord, you could then hang it around your neck or hang it over your shoulder so you wouldn't have to carry it in your hand. So that would be helpful. So that's what I would add to this. If you take the foam out, you can also fit in the Nutrigrain bar, but maybe just take that and put it in your pocket. I don't know. So that's the Gordon 12-piece emergency kit. Slightly enhanced, very slightly enhanced, but slightly enhanced. I think that's a kit that could be good to put in a car or a vehicle, and I could actually see uses for it. Taking the Band-Aids out or the fishing tools out or the flashlight out of that could be very handy for somebody. So there you go, the Gordon 12-piece emergency kit with enhancements from Harbor Freight. So hopefully this was helpful. If you like this, please like the video. We also love to have you subscribe to the channel. I think that's really critical that we get more subscribers. We're shooting for 300 by Valentine's Day. Not sure if we're going to hit it, but I sure would love to. Let me know what you think of this. What kind of enhancements would you add that would fit in this little box? Hope you liked it. We'll see you real soon.